Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report, and starting with the ASX 200 here on the daily chart. One of the interesting things here is that this little box here is our 50 and 60% retracement level. The 61.8 is above, and we would always take in the closest largest number of 6,000 here, which would also be, as you can imagine, the resistance here as well. The other thing that I want to point out here, this is the CFD here is made up of the physical market during the daytime and the futures market in the evening time. So when we do look at the cash market as such here, the physical market here, this is a daily chart here. We haven't actually reached the 61.8% retracement level just yet, but we're at the 6,000 area here, as you can see. Yeah, without sort of splitting hairs, this area here that we're in now is the resistance, but I can also see that we've got further to go up as well, and this is also the same for our friends in the Asian bloc here. So this is the China A50 here on a daily chart, and you can see that it's struggling here now at its 61.8% mark here, but it can move up from here as well. The thing here is that with this market and also the Hang Seng here as well, the little move up through here does count as 3 waves to the upside. It's quite clear in all the cases when we have a look. Let's just have a look at this on a daily chart, 4-hour chart, and just run through this a little bit. So we know that we're in the 50-60% retracement level here, but I can also see here too that we have wave 1 here down, and then wave 2 back, and then we're in the third wave down into this space here. So we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, back for 2, a nice strong third wave here, a fourth wave, and the fifth wave coming down here for the third, and then the fourth, and then the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So it really appears that we do have 5 waves here, and I can just sort of see here that we have a 3-wave movement up through here as well, in 3 waves. This little pattern in here, I can just sort of see it as being bullish or bearish at this stage, because it does look like it's got 3 waves down here. I can count this as 1 and 2 and 3 here, and then perhaps 4 and 5 to here. If that's the case, then we can look at this as a rally, and then down and back and down. So it'll be interesting just to see here, because otherwise we'll have to look at this as basically wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and an ABC for 4 here, and then up for 5 here. But this does count as 5 waves, so we should see another move down. So I'll just give it a little bit more time in this space. So basically what we're going through here with Hong Kong and China as well is the same thing that we're going through in our country here, Australia, with as well. So on the hourly chart here, last time we spoke yesterday, we looked at the scenario here, more so on the tick chart area here, but I'll look at the tick chart in a moment. But basically we were looking for having either 6,000 as a support to go long, or we were looking at group 2, which is a little bit lower here. We'll look at that in a moment on the tick chart. If that became the resistance area, then we'd go short from that point there. So in a nutshell, we were looking for pretty much going long above this one here in a nutshell, and short down here. But we can see that with these little double tops here give us a nice little move to the upside here. So we need to run with that. And I can also say that we will be moving higher with this as well. So even from here, we'll be looking at 1 and 2 here. We'll look at this in more detail. 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here. So we're still going to go higher here. And yeah, I mean, this all could be a much more big bullish run now that we've got support on here as well. So I'm aware of that. So coming back onto the daily chart here, when I look at this on the tick chart moving, I mean, the thing here is that I've got wave A here, we're looking for wave B and down for wave C. But I'm aware that we have pulled back down to our fourth wave of one lesser degree in the 38.2% retracement level. So we can have wave 4 here, and I do have counts for that coming up here on an impulse wave on a few of the charts we've already looked at before, and looking at this as an A and a B and a C wave coming down here. But when I look on the tick chart, this does count nicely down as a 5-wave structure as well. So I'm a little bit confused about this, and I've mentioned that I have had difficulty within this space in here with this count coming to the upside. So to rebalance that sort of unknown, we have used the trading levels as support and resistance, and that seems to have worked quite well. So we'll just go into the tick chart here now, and we've got, in the US, we've got technology stocks driving the markets to the upside. For Australia, I mean, that carries some sort of sentiment as well in terms of general sort of feeling. But we also know too that, as I've shown before, that this is iron ore here, and we noted this down here as a corrective wave. And looking for this here, we noted a little impulse wave to the upside here. So we started going long in some of those markets, and we've captured this here. So we're still on this particular run here at the moment with this. So that should go okay to the upside. That's top of group 1 here. That's all of group 1 here, 1, 2, and 3. And then of course we've got the 50 here. And then we've got 80 up here. But when we talk about 80, we talk about 72 in here, and we also talk about 65 here as a group 2 area as such. So I'll just put those in there. I mean, it's good to know. It's good to work with the levels, with the price. You're just working with price. I mean, the trading levels, all it does is just gives you a sort of a pattern, a bit of a matrix to sort of work within as support. So that works well. We also know crude oil is moving up as well. This chart's not fully labelled, but we picked the low down here, and we've been working this to the upside. So we are seeing, the metals and the energy sort of move to the upside. So they're very sort of supportive. Some of the banks are lifting to the upside as well in that. So with this here on this is 100 ticks. So we can see here that it's really a game of support and resistance. And in this case here, we've got 6,000 here. And our aim was that when we got to here to take profit, and really it was just a matter of waiting to see what we get in terms of support and resistance. So we know that the top of group 1 here and the bottom of group 2 here, the 65, 72, and 80, and 1, 2, and 3 here, this is the range that normally a correction would travel in. So anything above that or below that, we would need to be on that side of the market, and that's the way that we've played it. And we can see, from here. We can see from this. I mean, it's really quite a beautiful picture. The more that you look at it, because we got the arrival, we've got the reaction from that. And as I mentioned in here yesterday, that when a market is tackling, migrating from resistance to support here, there is a certain vibration, and we can see it certainly within this space here, but held within group 1 and group 2 here really nicely. And then it's got that really nice support sitting on the 6,000 here. So once you see that and it's moving off, we could have been in through here, and you still would have had the stop under here. But any of these going along within these spaces here, especially making new highs here, really puts it in that sort of area there. So taking these highs out here would have been the long trade, and we can see that by the strong move coming in through here, people taking that. What I can say from the wave count is that this move down here is corrective, and we can look at this being an impulse wave here, and then an A and a B and a C here. So we know that this is corrective now, and this is corrective, so we'll be taking the highs out here, which we've done. So then we need to work in with the wave count here. So starting from this little point, we've got 1 and 2 here, and I can see we've got 1 and 2 in here, so we've got 3. So we're going to get a 3 and a 4 in here, and I should just drop this back a little bit in here. That wave 4 will pull back 38.2%, or the wave 3 of 1 lesser degree, which will probably be that little spike just there. Not a big deal. And then because the extension's in wave 3 here, we'll see wave 1 here and wave 5 being the same here. So we're going to see Monday being a bullish day, and we'll see some profit taking on the Tuesday with the trend resuming again as well, and looking a little bit higher up through here. So this is kind of where we're looking here at the moment with this. Here we're in a trend, and we should be long at this point. So all we can do, as I'm still a little bit unsure of the bigger picture in all of this, but what I do know is we've got support here. I can see that this trend here is not finished, so we can count our little structure in here, and we can look for up here as our target zone up here. So getting a nice tested support on top of group 1 here, the 30, 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30, a nice tested support will give you a place to add positions again. You can take profit at the 50, and you can buy the pullback if you want, or you could stay in the market, and you can even look to add again on support here, or you can add on the pullback here. So there's a lot you can do. Normally in the levels going from 100 points, in this case from 6,000 to 100 here, the general idea that you can start to work with and then refine to suit yourself is that getting support on the large number here, the whole number, and then adding positions all the way through here. You can get 4 positions in here, but it's really only when we get a tested support on top of 30 that we know that we get to 50. So that's something that you need to refine here, but basically you build the trade into here, and then you just wait. You can add across the 50 here, especially when you know you've got a nice trend like this, and then these groups here are normally group 2 is normally for scaling out, so you'll take some profit at 72, and then the rest of the profit either at 80 or 1, depending on where the wave count is. But basically the first section is building, and then the midpoint is where you can do what you want in group 2, and the top here is where you start scaling out. Now that's just the general picture. You can do a lot more with that. So I would trade to 72, for example, and then a 72 and take some profit, or all profit, and then if 72 became the support here, then I build back in. I would add on 72 or 73, because of 73 is top of group 1 again on a micro level, and then adding on 80 as well. Then you may want to take some off of the table at 90, because sometimes at 90 you can get a retest back to the 80 again, but it depends on the spread that you've got with this as well. So 2-point spread wouldn't make it worthwhile. And then up to the next level there. Alrighty, I'll just leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.